I'm a fan of Fire Force. I'm a fan of Rule 34 Fire Force. Am I a fan of Fire Force Season 4? In this episode, I'm going to give you guys 2 things I love about the new season and 2 things I dislike about the new season. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts overall of whether I think the season is good or bad. Number 1 is going to be the flashbacks to the Academy. Part of me wishes that we did actually have the series start with the flashbacks to the Academy, because there's a lot of characters that are still underdeveloped and underfleshed out that I really do believe would have benefited from some extra screen time and some extra lore, including Ogun, including the missile guy that always wears the big fucking clothes. Arthur is still pretty underdeveloped. There's a lot of characters that I think that really could have benefited from having a little bit more runtime, and I'm actually surprised that we didn't get the series start in the Academy, because every time they're doing the flashbacks to the Academy and we're seeing Shinra going through his struggles, you know, of acceptance and coming to terms with the fact that he is going to be a devil in everyone's eyes for the rest of his life. I mean, I really think that's really cool lore. And every time they keep flashing back to that, I keep thinking to myself, man, like I wish we just had more time in the Academy, because this is really cool. This is something that builds the characters. This helps me feel more connected to these characters. And it's just also cool seeing these characters, their flashback stories, especially I guess now retroactively. But I still think it would have been really special for them to build the characters up before they got into the Fire Force. The number 2 thing that I really love about the season so far is the mystery of the world. I reviewed Arknights Enfield a while ago, and they tried so hard to have this master fantasy, heavenly type of plot, and they were talking about fucking all this bullshit, and it just completely fell flat for me. But this isn't like that. This is very cool. I love how we're experiencing all of the mystery through the characters, because none of the characters know what the fuck is going on, right? And it just makes it so much cooler, because it's almost like there's this massive rift in their entire world and no one knows what's going on, and they're trying to do what is right. And I think one of the coolest parts of the entire series was actually in one of the most recent episodes, where Shinra basically kills Raffles the First after he comes back from one of the gates that opens up, and everyone's mad as fuck at him, and they're like, dude, that's our savior, because Raffles the First is technically like a very well-known figure. He's a holy figure for the world that they live in now, and he was talking about killing everyone, and Raffles was talking about killing everyone. He was talking about, you know, sending them closer to Adela, and then people are fucking trusting him. People are trying to take his advice and fucking join him in death. And I think that's something that is very cool, because you see that these people are scared and confused, and they see this character that they know and love and trust, and they're just willing to do anything that the fucking guy says. And it's a very unique plot line, because a lot of these people are probably, now that Adela is getting like closer and closer to reality, a lot of these people are probably just going to accept death, because that's all they know. And the funny thing is they could be right. We could. Who's saying that the Fire Force is right? Who's saying that staying alive is actually the right call? Because they could have a completely different universe that's just much more heavenly and much more peaceful, that they are literally, like, the Ironclad Order is literally trying to bring them into. So the Ironclad Order actually could be the good guys here, right? Like, is killing everyone in this world and bringing them to another world where everything is more peaceful, is that better? No one fucking knows. So some people are like, yeah, dude, like, let's just do it. And I think it's really cool how there's people that are fighting to stay alive, and there's people that are trying to die, and whoever's right, it depends on what's on the other side. And I don't know, I think that's like a really interesting part of this season that I think just kind of opened up. I know that there was glimpses of it in the past few seasons, but now more than ever, I think you're able to see that. And I think that's one of the coolest things I've seen in anime as of late. Now, what I don't like about it is I think the pacing has been very weird for this season right here. I think that Fire Force normally has done a really great job being able to pace out the series very well and be able to explain most things before they really come up, but it feels like they're kind of grasping at straws, just bringing characters back from the dead. I think the Raffles the First, bringing him back was like kind of cool just because his reaction on other people, but bringing back the chief, the Benimaru's old chief, and seemingly out of nowhere, it just doesn't, it feels very like Naruto-esque, where they're just bringing people back in the Great Ninja War just for the people now to fight them. And for me, it falls very flat. It makes me very worried and concerned about how this is going to end, because they haven't really done a great job in this season of really explaining what's going on, and they're just bringing random people back from the dead and then like fighting them. And the funny thing is a lot of the villains that they kind of soiled them, because the Ironclad Order, half the people in the Ironclad Order aren't even real enemies right now, right? Because Sho is an ally, Arrow is an ally, and then you have the one guy that fought the fan service girl. I mean, he's basically non-existent at this point. I mean, most of their people are just not even real villains anymore. So I think they're grasping at straws, trying to find people for them to fight, and just forcing fights just to have some action in the series. I don't really like that too much. So I think they're kind of grasping at straws there, and the pacing is just kind of weird because of it. It's because none of these characters have really had any screen time until the episode that they're reintroduced, or introduced at all. Having to fight them and then beat them in one episode, while the fight scenes are cool, it just, I don't know, I don't really like that personally. Last thing we're going to talk about is the scaling of the gates that they've opened so far, because for those of you guys that remember, when the first gate opened, they were fucking scrambling. I mean, that first gate almost destroyed the entire city. And now fast forward to, there's like a brief time skip from season 3 to season 4, and now they basically can just handle it with one person. And I don't really like that personally. I mean, if the first one almost completely fucking killed you guys, shouldn't they get stronger and stronger after that? Now they're just like, oh yeah, well, there's another gate opening, let me go take care of it. Benimaru's like, let me just go take care of that real quick. And it just seems very, I guess, I don't know, I guess it has something to do with the pacing as well, but it just doesn't feel fluid. Something about it just feels off, where they're just treating the gates now like they're cannon fodder. And for me, that doesn't sit right with me, because I think that the gates should add stakes to the universe, right? Every time a new gate opens, it should be like, oh my god, what are we going to do? And I think they're trying to rush past the gate thing and get straight to the ending. And to me, I just feel like that's a little bit lazy and rushed, because there's a lot of cool things that could come with the gates being opened, and you know, the things that come out of it, or the result of whatever happens from the gates. But they're basically not really talking about any of that, and I don't really love that overall. But overall, I think I do like the new season of Fire Force, because while it does have some flaws, I think the animation is just so fucking good. I think the fight scenes are great. I think that the universe has a lot of mystique about it, and I'm very curious to how they're going to connect this into Soul Eater, considering they're very different animes with the very different powers and stories and plots. So I'm very curious how this is going to connect to Soul Eater. That being said, if there is a lull in the story and it doesn't truly like masterfully connect, I'm going to have a huge problem with Fire Force, because I think the main thing that I love about it right now is that there's so much mystery and there's so much that could be. And in my head, I'm building up like, okay, this is going to be really fucking cool. And if it isn't, then I feel like the entire thing kind of falls flat. If I were to rewatch it starting from episode 1, knowing that the ending is what we got and it's bad, it would make me very sour about the anime overall, because right now it's in my top 10. It's so fucking funny. It's legit like one of the funniest animes I've ever seen. It's funny, it has great animation, the characters are awesome, and the story is very mysterious. It gives you a lot of you know, it gives you a lot of like good things to kind of like dissect and look forward to. But as we see it, but if we get back to the very end of the anime and the lore and the mystery is gone, and what we got is what we got, and it's bad, then I feel like the anime is just my perception of it is completely different. So we'll see exactly how it goes. Right now, I'm gonna give it like an 8 out of 10. I would say maybe like a 7 out of 10. And we'll see if they are really good in the future to like for the rest of the season. But I'm really hoping that they end it strong, because this is one of my favorite animes. I love it. And the season has been relatively good so far. So we'll see how they end it, because that honestly is going to be the best part, considering, you know, how fucking mysterious it all is. So subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you.